As a longtime Detroiter, I went to DPS, and there were Detroit public schools all over. But now with charter schools coming in and DPS, some of the schools are closing. And an example of that is I had my sons at a middle school, and because a charter school was in the neighborhood, the public school began to have problems with discipline because, of course, they didn't have enough teachers. DPS didn't hire enough teachers, of course, because they didn't have enough students. So what we end up doing, and this is frustrating to a parent, where you send your child to a school and you expect them to get, educated, but the school was having so many problems with discipline, it was affecting our child, my son in particular. So we had to pull him out, and we ended up putting him in a charter school that we thought was better at the time. But once he got to that charter school, the teacher was at best 21, and it was a Teach for America. And what was interesting about that, none of the students respected the teacher because they looked at that teacher, Teach for America teacher, as like their older sister. So she couldn't discipline them. I mean, you're dealing with some teenagers. So you got young, white, couldn't relate, wasn't from the community, teaching African American kids from all, different settings. It was rough. We had to pull our sons out of there after the next semester, because even though they was in a place that was undisciplined, it was getting worse at the charter school. Based on all my children going to school at different times, education was poor. Every year started off, for the most part, with the classes being, some classes not having teachers for predominantly most of the year, most of the semester. So, for example, if school started in late August or September, a teacher wouldn't get in there till late October, early November. So you got subs in there all that period. And of course, children being stacked up. So definitely that was just unacceptable. In particular, to all this testing focus, my children are testing for college and being placed in remedial classes. So before they're taking their college credits, they have to basically take some remedial classes because they wasn't fully prepared to even go to college. Because typically, if you're doing testing, studying for a test all the time in school, you're not getting the proper education you're supposed to have. Only thing you're getting is getting prepared for a test. When I was in DPS, definitely I was in sports, but also those are my friends who wasn't into sports. You had wood shop, you had singing, you had chess club, you had debate, you had all these activities. So a lot of my friends, we stayed in school or around school. With my sons and my daughters, fortunately, they still had swimming. So they were able to swim. But a lot of their friends, there was no chess, there was no other activities. So what happened to the kids or the young people who didn't have those activities? They ended up out in the streets.